privilege to introduce Terry. Probably known to many of us because he's a long-time Dryden guy, raised a family here, a long-time member of our Lutheran church. And largely with Terry gets a great deal of credit for our church sponsors of a small town, very disadvantaged town in Haiti, which has been so beat up in so many ways in recent years or decades. And he's spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of personal input into that project. And so I'm really happy that he's here to tell Rotary about his latest adventures and progress in Haiti. So, Terry.
Yeah, thank you everybody for having me. This is the second time actually. I was here a couple of years ago, I think. The first one we started actually. So since that, actually a lot's happened in Haiti. A house, kids in school, we drilled a well. Anyway, I brought a couple of pictures and a few notes on what we've done there. I know there's a few of you, like Sally, you've been helping sponsor kids. Mel, you guys have been helping as well. So there are already a few people that know what's happening and what we've done. So I'll just very quickly go through what we have. If you have a timekeeper here, just like make sure I keep moving. I only brought maybe 7 or 8 very simple slides, so it shouldn't take that long. Okay, actually, maybe I can stand out here. This will move the slides. Okay, a little bit of a background for anybody that doesn't know anything about Haiti. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and not by a little bit, like by a lot. It's not even close to, like there's really like nothing else. You've been to like Guatemala, Honduras, you've seen lots of poverty and the poor people and the poor housing. But really, there's nothing like Haiti. It's just, it's way down on the list. So anyway, I picked up, it's a place I've always wanted to go, and I had an opportunity a few years ago for the first time, and now I see why I feel like I wasn't maybe like called to go there anyway to do something. So yeah, I mean, some of the facts are just staggering. For instance, infant mortality rate in Canada is around 5 or so. Like per 1,000, 855, like 11 or 12 times worse than it is in Canada. Now, life expectancy, actually, that's gone even more now. In Canada, I see they've just like bumped our life expectancy up to 84 now, or 85 or something. So, again, like people don't live long, and if they do, they're usually not that healthy when they get to be in their late 50s or so. They start to see lots of problems. Schooling is, the government is trying to get more involved in funding school. We quit last year, after 1 year, we quit trying to send our kids to the public schools because the government doesn't even always pay their teachers. So we're finding sometimes kids would start, and I would go there, and then the kids wouldn't be going to school, and you ask why. Well, the teachers never got paid. So now all the kids we send there now go to like the private schools, either run by the church or run by like nonprofit groups. They have a long way to go, and maybe like 20% is what they're saying of the kids that actually go to like a public school system. All the rest of the kids go to, like the ones that go to school, go to schools that are run. The Catholic Church actually is doing lots of work there. It's great. They do lots of stuff there, lots of schools. I mean, if you ever looked at any photos or any hydro and highway infrastructure, is either not at all or very poor. In the area we're in, hydro is on about 2 to 3 hours a day, and you never know when. It could be midnight to 2. It could be, yeah, there's really no structure at all to the hydro. It's very hit and miss. And of course, like running water, like 25% of the homes, and I'm guessing that would mostly be like Port-au-Prince. None of the homes that I've ever been to in Haiti have running water, except the odd one who might have like a gravity feed tank on the roof that runs into a shower or something. But for the most part, it's carrying all your water everywhere. So since we started, I first went in November of 2015, and I've been there 6 times total in the last 3 years now since that. So there was, first when I went there, the group in Haiti, there was a group of 3 adults that were trying their best to look after some orphan kids, keep these kids in school. And through a pastor we had at our church, he was like on his own, actually sending him money and helping, so he offered to take me, so I went. So that's how I got started. And they had already bought a small piece of a property there, about 4 hectares, when I went, but there was nothing happening on it. So after 2015, when I came back in November, we identified 14 or so kids that were like closely associated with the family that we knew there that needed to go to school. So that started like immediately. Sorry, it started at 7 and now it's up to 14. We were very generous with donations from some of the locals here in town. We actually drilled a well that services maybe 25 to 30 families for water for drinking and laundry, everything else. We also sponsored a group to go to a permaculture course. The Chestnuts, you guys probably know Willie, and Willie's daughter, actually Frida, Kelsey, took a group of 6 or 7 adults from our group and taught them things like composting and like better use of water and things. So, and we just last year actually we built a berm in there was a bit of an old creek bed and a gully actually on the property that we dammed off with the hopes to extend the growing season by a month. So that was done this year, and it's already full of water, of course, which doesn't take long there when it rains. If you've ever been down there, you know when it rains there, it rains like 2 inches at a time in about an hour. They now have all kinds of animals all over the place. I lost count of goats. We started off with 3 or 4, and there's at least 15 or 20 now. So they breed them. They haven't milked them that I can see, but I think they breed them and then they sell them off as they get more and more goats. And we started to spread out from the neighborhood as well. This home is kind of the center of the neighborhood where we're working. So we've worked on other people's homes. They got concrete floors, solar lights, things like that, and new roofs on a few houses. So the home actually is about 10 meters square. It's concrete a block, which a lot of the homes there are just mud with banana leaf roofs. So this is the home. Was finished in late 2016. There's 13 people who live here in this house. It's the main guy we work with there. He has 4 of his own kids. He's adopted 3 others. There's 3 others staying here that are going to school because they're too far. And his parents that lost their home in the storm in 2017 are living there. They're very old. They lost their house. So you can see a very simple house, but by standards in Haiti, it's a very, very nice home. Some of the kids that were sponsoring to go to school, these are all but 2 of them actually stay at the house. So you can see the school conditions there. I just included one picture to see all the kids, and they sit basically elbow to elbow, a little wooden desk. No resources that I can see for the teachers other than a blackboard. So for these kids to go, they usually go to school. They start about 7:30 in the morning and they go until about 1:30, and then the second group, because there's not enough schools, the second group will go from between 1 and 2 until 7 or 8 at night. That's how they've been doing it. So all the kids you see on the right, we all know them very well personally. Like I say, 7 of them stay at the house. The other kids are older kids who live in different towns. But the well has been one of the main things that's happened there. Water in the central part of Haiti where we're working. Thomassique is the town. If you ever want to look on a map, it's maybe go north to south in Haiti. If you go maybe halfway across the island and towards the Dominican border, it's almost on the border for the Dominican. But it's on what they call a plateau in Haiti. So water is very, very hard to find there. Most people walk or carry water there 2 to 3 kilometers. So this well was drilled. Actually, we're in the country like just outside this town. So I said like 20 families here, but there's probably more like 25 or 30. It's hard to tell because people are coming and going all the time. It's very, very hard to see exactly how many people. But the good news about the well is it's like a crazy amount of water we hit there. I was there one day. They pumped 4,000 gallons of water out of that well in one shot. They started up the generator and they pumped 4,000 gallons before they stopped. So the well there's lots of water there. which is huge blessing for us. So. Of course, one of the main things has been the gardening there. The property is about 4 hectares, and about 2.5 of it's probably planted in corn, beans, banana trees, sweet potato are the main things that grow there. This was 6 weeks after we left. He sent me this picture. They planted it when we left, and so the corn is already, everything grows crazy fast. So. And the food that's grown there, it's like not only for the people that live in the home, of course, but they share it with all the neighbors. So that's the focus is for us is to make sure everything that you grow, will be shared. If you don't eat it, will be shared. A little building in the bottom right there, that's just a little building, actually covers the well. The berm was built, again, when we were there was no water in it at all, and now you can see there's a little pond. It's now full to overflowing. We're hoping when the dry season hits here in November, the rains usually stop the end of September, the end of October. We're hoping that's going to give them extra water. They can water the gardens and keep going for hopefully another 5 or 6 weeks because of this. Because really there's no rain at all there between usually November and March or April. Actually March, usually around the end of March, 1st of April. That's when the rains start. So we're hoping we can make this secure enough actually that we can plant in it, fish in it. They can feed themselves with fish. But, it's on the list. And the livestock, of course, is all over, goats and pigs, turkeys. And Dale was with me, she wasn't all that impressed with the spiders. We saw little holes about the size of a quarter. I don't know how many there were everywhere. And of course we thought at first it was like a mole or a mouse or something. Like I said, no, these are spiders. And of course they only come out when it rains. So when it rains, all these spiders, some of them are as big as your hand, all these spiders I don't know where they go, I've never ever seen one. So we poured water into this hole, and sure enough, this big spider pops out of a little hole big of a quarter. So I can imagine when it rains hard there. This was the last day we were there. I'm glad we never found that out before. Because I think Dale would have left us. Crazy. So some of the improvements to the property, of course, this house on the left, that's a neighbor's house. We added a new roof and concrete walls. Solar lighting, we're buying these little solar panels. They're tiny little panel, 3 little bulbs. You can see one hanging in the middle there. It's about $40 US down there. So I bought a few of them since we've been there. So we're giving them to the neighbors. It allows the kids to be able to study, first of all, after dark, because of course it gets dark, 6:30. And also then there's more time to do things with your family afterwards. So, and we've had, I don't know how many of them there are there now, but we're sharing it with neighbors. Every time I go, I buy a few and I take to the neighbors. So. And we need a bigger school bus on the right. You can see that's how the kids get to school. There's 7, I think, on a motorcycle here. It's very common to see 5 or 6 on a motorcycle, but they're headed off to school. So going forward, we're going to continue to sponsor. We had 14 kids, and we promised 2 more for sure this year. And there's an additional 5 or 6 in the neighborhood that don't go because the family can't afford to send everybody, and usually, unfortunately, it's the girls that don't get to go. It's just a sad reality, and Sally, you've probably seen that all over too in South Central America, and it's no different in Haiti. Even though we all know that girls are much better academically, they get to stay home. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on now. We just started at our church. I have maybe 10 or so people, that are regulars. They sponsor a child each year, and I know I have some other people. I just have to phone them, Sally. That always help when needed. So, yeah. So this is one of the little girls actually who doesn't go. I just met her this year. Yeah, she's 4. She needs to go to school. I visited a couple of colleges when I was there this year. Dale and I are personally sponsoring 2 kids to go to university there. One to be a nurse and one is doing a business degree. But actually, post-secondary education is not that expensive there, surprisingly. So I visited a teachers of college and like a technical school when I was there, just to kind of like get an idea of what things cost there. So we're hoping, as some of our older girls down there get ready, we'll be able to send more of them to to become teachers or whatever. Like teaching is one of the few things where you can actually get a job and be paid. They make $120 US a month, but it's a job, and in Haiti that's good. So anyway, I've done some of that looking around. I spent actually a couple of days on this last time I was there at the schools. Got lots of information. Also, I started last year actually researching on what it would cost to build our own school there, like a small school. So I talked to a guy who has a piece of land not far away that's willing to sell. I visited the stores that sell all the curriculum and material. We've talked to a few people that could be teachers, like potentially. So again, I don't know. I need to. This would be something that I would want to have a longer term plan for. If you start, of course, like the building is not a big deal. You build it, it's there. But to make sure that you're going to get $7,000 or $8,000 a year you need for teachers and the school supplies, that would require a little bit more work than what we've currently done there. But it's not off the table for sure. I'm still very, very interested in doing that. And we're continuing to improve the neighbors, mostly around lighting or housings that don't have any floors, for instance, so when it rains, water runs through the middle. Fixing roofs and the floors is one of the main things. So I'll try and do like a couple of them every year if I can get some people to help. So anyway, that's what we've done so far, and that's what we're hoping to do. Yeah, maybe we can send Ismona as her name. Maybe Ismona will go to school this year.